rugby league clubs of Oxford and Cambridge. This is the 9th game in the series, and Cambridge lead by 5 games to 3. And Cambridge will also be looking for their 4th win in succession. They've won the last 3 games, 18 points to 8 here last year against Oxford, 36 points to 5 the year previous, and 32 points to 14. Cambridge were the winners of the 2 previous games to those. Cambridge won the 2 previous to that, and Oxford won the first inaugural game, 16 points to 9 back in 1981. Well, the 2 sides are coming out onto the field, and Oxford first. Let's look at the side in detail. At number 1 will be Ian Williams, the Australian Rugby Union fullback, and he has played 7 times for his native country. Number 2 will be Charles Wijeratne. Number 3, Nick Plum. Number 4, Dan Wooler. And at number 5, John Cox. He completes the 3-quarter lineup. The halfbacks today, Muriad Rees at number 6, and Nigel Rippon will be the scrum half. The front row, at number 8, David Cook. At number 9, Richard Leach. And at number 10 will be Buckland. I'm afraid we haven't got a name for Mr. Buckland, so very sorry about that. The second row, Dave Coslett at number 11 and Richard Bennett at number 12. And the loose forward today will be Will Kemp. The substitutes at number 14, John Adcock, and at number 15, Duncan Wood. Well, the 2 sides lining up here to be presented to the managing director of the Car Care Plan company, who are sponsoring tonight's game, and he is Mr. Paul Kirby. And Cambridge, they line up as follows. At number 1, Simon Thompson. On the 3-quarter line, at number 2, Dominic Gwilym David. Number 3, Harvey Bennett. At number 4 will be Jamie Woodward. And at number 5, Simon Boyden. And the halfbacks, at number 6, Scott Gordon Lowe. And at number 7, who's represented Northumberland Rugby Union, Jim Paps. The front row, Andrew LeBreton. And at hooker, Bruce Middleton. And at number 10, the Irishman, Jonathan McLeod. And the second row will be Piers McCleary at number 11 and Mark Higginbottom at number 12. Loose forward is Mark Woodbridge. And the substitutes, at number 14, Robert Sterling, and at number 15, Nigel Warburton. Well, the presentation's being made, and it's great to see Rugby League being played at our 2 senior universities. The seats of learning have now come to have 2 Rugby League clubs, 1 at each, and it's going to be a very interesting game. I'll be quite interested to see the way that they play Rugby League, because we have a lot of Rugby Union players who have been brought up on Rugby Union, and we'll see the tactics today, which should be quite interesting. And the 2 captains coming together to meet the referee, and some very interesting player profiles in this programme I have in front of me, and I'll do my best to give each of you a mention as we go along. So it's going to be Cambridge to kick off. And Oxford will be playing towards the St Michael's Road end of the ground, where the clubhouse is. We're up in the south stand, high above the pitch. And away we go. And the first touch for Will Kemp. Coming forward, second tackle, and it's Buckland. And the ball back immediately and kicked long. Driving Cambridge back, but nicely picked up by Simon Thompson. Evades 1 tackle, but finally brought to ground by David Cook and Dave Coslett. Very good Rugby League name, that, Coslett. Of course, played for St Helens. I don't think he's any relation. Referee awarding a penalty for holding down in the tackle. The man responsible, Richard Bennett, and it was his opposite number, Mark Higginbottom. And that kick, a very good one at that, and finds touch some 10 yards from the Oxford 25. And Cambridge driving in. Acting halfback is Jim Paps. Gets the ball out there quickly to Piers McCleary. Paps again. Run round move. It's the ball in. Oh, and fine tackle coming in from Dave Coslett on Mike Woodbridge. Little mistake there, but Cambridge managed to retrieve the ball. Ball back again by Paps. And that one kicked through. Gordon Lowe it was, but nicely taken. And David Cook it was again. Nothing to choose between the two sides, and although Cambridge have had the upper hand in the last 3 encounters, Oxford will be looking to their star player, probably Ian Williams, to give them that little bit of edge. And that's a terrific kick. And between them, Simon Thompson and Dominic Willem-David have managed to retrieve the situation, but finally it's Simon Thompson who's put into touch. So the first scrum of the evening coming in the 3rd minute. And the referee just making sure that both front rows know exactly what he wants. Down they go. And I think that that ball, well, I would suggest that he has it taken again, because the ball certainly didn't go into the scrum. Well, it didn't go in again either. And the referee has finally decided that feeding was the answer, and Cambridge have a penalty. So the referee stamping his authority early on. And for Jim Paps to take the tap. Piling forward there is Andrew Le Breton. And both sets of forwards at the moment doing their best to sort one another out. Bruce Middleton. Paps again along the line. Centre, Harvey Bennett, but nowhere to go, and robust tackling by Oxford. And coming in off of his left wing is David Willem Dominic. And we've got another scrum. See if we can get a clean heel here, and he does. Very well done. Out the backside there, coming into the line. Very good run, kick ahead by Ian Williams, and he looked to be tackled after he kicked the ball away, but going back is Dominic Willem-David, and he manages to retrieve the situation for Cambridge. Piece of class full-back play by Ian Williams coming into the line, kicking ahead, but well rescued by Willem-David. And Cambridge now just 10 yards from their own line, and Oxford now need to pen them back. And the tackling is very sound indeed. They've obviously learnt the art of tackling in rugby league, because it's certainly much more different than it is in rugby union. The ball back, and not a good kick. And offside. And so, Murray Idris, I think he's going to have a shot at goal. Well, he's certainly calling someone up to have a shot. The bucket of sand. And Rees, born in Middlesbrough, and it's from St Peter's College and Ampleforth College as well. And he likes to study geology. Well, here he comes. Can he study the angle for this kick? Oh, and just fails with the length. Certainly had the direction right. And that was a good attempt, but just failing to get the distance. So still Oxford 0, Cambridge 0. And we've had just over 6 minutes. It's Bruce Middleton, and making good ground as well. Good 15-yard run by Middleton. And the man with the skull cap on is Jamie Woodward. Makes it easy for me to identify. And back again, and Simon Thompson kicks that one long. Picked up by Charles Wijeratne. Oh, and nicely handled by Williams. Williams steps inside one man, goes across, but a good covering tackle coming in from Andrew Le Breton. And the first real now excitement we've got is Oxford in possession. Richard Leach gets the ball out there to Buckland. Buckland driving in, inside the 25. Leach again at acting half. Williams coming into the line again, but has to offload to Dave Coslett. Coslett gets the ball out in the tackle. Good play by Oxford, but just breaking down a bit between Dan Wooler and Nick Plum. Nick Plum it is who's got the ball. Acting half-back is Richard Leach. Some fine tackling in this game, and Piers McCleary getting in on the act. And Rippon there at scrum half is in the thick of the action once more. Gets the ball out to Williams. Williams hoists the bomb, but it's going virtually vertical. Nicely taken there. So Cambridge relieving that little bit of pressure that Oxford had. No clear gaps because of the tackling. And Jim Papp sets the side in motion again. Mark Higginbottom falling there in the tackle. This Headingley surface, first class. It's had some work done on it at the beginning of the season when it's more like a checkerboard than a rugby field. But now in perfect condition, and what a good strong run. Jamie Woodward, finally collared by Nigel Rippon. And put into touch by Simon Thompson. So the third scrum forming. It's one clean one to Oxford at the moment. And a penalty we had to Cambridge early on. And against the head, Woodward. Oh, nice ball in. First touch for Simon Boyden. Coming in there off of his left wing. And just a little strained and frantic, the passing there, getting on top of one another. And finally offside. So it'll be Williams to kick for touch. And gain Oxford some good ground, which he does, taking the Oxford side to halfway. Good to see both sides keeping to the 10-yard offside rule, and had no problems in that at all. Referee making sure that both sides are well back. So still no score, but many fine points in this game so far. It's Cambridge win possession. Mike Woodbridge. Oh, nice pass. Good ball out. And Woodward is collared before he can get the ball out there to Dominic Gwilym-David, but good position for Cambridge, just over halfway. But, ground very difficult to make against some strong tackling by both sides. So the forwards for Cambridge driving in, looking for the option. And the centres again find no way through that Oxford tackling. Ball should be back here. Kick through. Ooh, and that tackle was a bit late, but picked up by Charles Wijeratne. And again coming around that blind side. Williams brushes off one man, but falls to another good tackle coming in there by Jim Papps. Ball running loose, but retrieved. David Cook. Acting halfback Richard Leach again, and Oxford come forward. Slight territorial advantage for Oxford, but no points on the board yet. And we've had 11 minutes. And Barnstorming tackle coming in from Jonathan McLeod. And Oxford throwing the ball out well. Chance here. It's John Cox, but hasn't got the strength to take 2 men over the 25 and over the line. So that looked a slight knock-on, and the referee has given it. Bruce Middleton and Richard Leach are the hookers who will contest this, and they were contesting the ball just a moment ago. So it's one scrum each. And the man picking that one up is Nigel Rippon. So Oxford with 4 tackles remaining, and just on the edge of the 25, the Cambridge 25, driving in once more. And Williams squirts out of 1 tackle, but once again, some good tackling there by Piers McCleary. It's a big David Cook, but Oxford just cannot find a way through, as Cambridge are finding it difficult against the Oxford tackling. Ball back to Williams. And the referee has awarded a penalty. I couldn't quite see what it was for, but this is now a very good chance for Murray Idris. He's some 20 yards out, just to the left of the post, and his direction was right last time, just couldn't get the length. So none from 1 at the moment, chance to make it 1 from 2, and also to put Oxford 2 points in front. Right-footed kicker, round the corner style, hoists it straight between the posts. Good kick by Murray Idris, and Oxford take a 2-0 lead in the 14th minute. So that's broken the ice, and it's now possible that both sides will settle down and start to play some fluent attacking rugby. Well, picked up by Nick Plum. And Plum born in Doncaster, so not that far from Headingley, and at Queen's College. And actually went to Queen Elizabeth Grammar School in Wakefield, which is very much a rugby union stronghold, and appear in the Yorkshire Post on in the schools rugby quite often, and always seem to do pretty well. So Cambridge in possession, inside their own 25 once again, and Oxford holding Cambridge back. Cambridge yet to venture into the Oxford 25, with plenty of time to go. And the number 13 there, Mike Woodbridge. Mike Woodbridge from Manchester Grammar School and at King's. And he's played rugby league for a couple of years. He's a half blue on the wing last year, and also toured Australia. And also, I understand that Mike plays for the university ice hockey team, so a lot of these lads, very good sportsmen indeed. And Williams gets the ball out to John Cox. And Cox, unfortunately, nowhere to go, buried under an avalanche of bodies. And the speed and thought, just not quite there at the moment, but certainly on defence, it is quite superb. And Williams again kicks it long, and that's going to find touch. No, bounces back inside, and Simon Thompson says thank you very much. We'll go forward. And just as he does so, his pack finally get back behind the ball. So, quite interesting game at the moment. 2-0 Oxford lead, and we're coming up now to 15 minutes gone. And Cambridge being driven back by the ferocity of the Oxford tackling. And Couple of them squaring up to one another there. So we've got a bit of needle as well, which won't do the game any harm, providing it stays at just a little bit. Chipped forward by Thompson into space, but straight to his opposite number, Williams. And Williams hoists it back, looking for the corner. It's going to bounce in. Oh, and unlucky there by Simon Boyden. It flicked off his hand onto his foot and back out of play. Had it not touched his foot, that would have been a superb saving catch by Simon Boyden. So the scrum forming 10 yards in and just inside the Cambridge 25. Cambridge have the put in, it'll be Nigel Rippon. And one against the head yet again. Two against the head, but Boyden's in touch. Hoisted into touch there. So once more, it'll be Nigel Rees to put the ball in, and once again, it's Cambridge who win that scrum against the head. And Jim Paps making ground, the Northumberland Rugby Union representative. Good play. And the hooker, Bruce Middleton, certainly with 3 against the head already. But Cambridge can't make use of this possession. Well, they're trying to keep the ball alive, but still only some 10 yards outside their own 25, and they'll be looking for the long kick very shortly. Ball back. And a good touch by Jamie Woodward. Jamie Woodward from Woodston High and College is Darwin. And probably the most experienced member of the squad. He's his 3rd half blue, and he captained the team last year in both England and Australia. And a good move, and that's Woodward who gets the ball out there to Bennett. Bennett out to the right wing, it's Gwilym David. Gwilym David trying to hand off Williams, but Williams showing his experience and bundles him into touch. But a good 3-quarter move between Woodward, Bennett and Gwilym David. But finally Ian Williams, with all his experience and a good covering tackle. But finally, Cambridge are in the Oxford 25. It's taken them 19 minutes to do it, but that was the first flowing 3-quarter move that we've had. And the referee saying, let's have it at the right spot, boys. This car care plan, University clash, Oxford and Cambridge here in Headingley. And coming into the 20th minute, it's Oxford 2, Cambridge 0. And they're scrummaging a little untidy. And finally Oxford win one from their own put-in. And Nigel Rippon manages to gain a good 10 yards. Well, shown the ball inside there was Dan Wooler. Dan Wooler, born in Plymouth and at Worcester College. Went to the Plymstock School in Plymouth and has a love of geology. Ball back, and Simon Thompson, well, didn't get very far as Charles Wijeratner came in. Wijeratner at Worcester College and a modern historian from Latimer Upper School in London. Played for Middlesex under-15s and under-19s at Rugby Union and the Harlequins under-19s as well as being captain of Worcester College Rugby Football Club. He also runs in the 400 metres for the university, so he's got a bit of possibly a bit of speed there on that right flank for Oxford. So, well, a referee saying that the punch was coming in. He hit one of the biggest men on the Oxford side. Number 8 there, David Cook from Lincoln College, and is born in Bangor in Northern Ireland. And Dave's a second-year biochemist. Doesn't give his height and weight, but certainly looks to be one of the bigger men in the Oxford side. But he wins the penalty, and Oxford now look to have a planned move going on here. We've got something coming off as they go and fetch the ball. The Cook, Leach and Buckland are all there together. And coming in, well, it looked to be going to promise a lot, but in the end, poor John Cox was left with a very demanding task. No, Oxford in with a good chance here. Williams, but he can't find a way past Simon Thompson. And loose forward, Will Kemp for Oxford. Oh, plays it to himself, and Kemp is over. Well, a nice piece of play by Kemp. He really is very delighted about that. He'd driven him once already. Nobody marking him, so he took the opportunity, played the ball to himself, and dived over for the try. Good piece of play by Kemp. And that's put Oxford now into a 6-0 lead. And that try coming in the 23rd minute. From Will Kemp. So, change in goal kicker. It'll be Dan Wooler. And Will Kemp, born in Woking and at St Peter's College. Sorry, St Anne's College. My apologies to Will Kemp, and that one failing from Dan Wooler. So Oxford now in a 6-0 lead, and we're inside the second part of the first half. And Cambridge with a lot to do. They've not really threatened the Oxford line. Will Kemp with looking for a degree in metallurgy and also a career in the army. The junior Thai boxer, so not a man to be reckoned with there. And he's in the thick of the action yet again, hoisting that one up, and that's going to run into touch, and that's a good kick by Kemp. And once again, Cambridge driven back, and at this time it's Oxford who's certainly in the ascendancy, pushing forward and driving Cambridge back with the ferocity of the tackling and some good goal kicking and good scrummaging in this game as well. Once they've got down to the ball's going in the centre of the scrum, which is very unlike Stones Bit of Championship rugby, where the ball very rarely goes in clean, or if it does, it's in the second row anyway. So something to be learned with the good scrummaging that we've had. Oh, that ball dropped there. Dangerous position. I think he's managed to retrieve it. He has. It was Harvey Bennett. Well, no chance to go anywhere there for Dominic Willem-David, as John Cox was opposite number and Dan Wooler were there, and Oxford caught. It's a knock-on. The scrum's getting down. Ball in the centre comes out Oxford side this time, and Williams, well, that looked a knock-on without any doubt at all, but the referee has said no. And driving in is Buckland, doing a manful stint. And Kemp it is. Tough tackling again. Cambridge doing well, but they must watch near their own lines. Kent was allowed to go through for that try. Oh, and a long attempt at a drop goal, but not only doesn't he get the height, but certainly no direction either. So it'll be a tap restart from the 25 for Cambridge. Cambridge again with a penalty, which they'll try and gain some ground into the Oxford half, but of course the conditions quite windy tonight, and it's been terrifically fierce, the wind earlier on, and everybody well wrapped up on the subs bench, and certainly not sitting down. It is bitterly cold now. Well, I would like to see this Carker Plan game held as an opener to one of the Stonesbury Championship games here at Headingley, because although there's a reasonable crowd here, I think it would benefit from certainly being before a bigger crowd. It would help the players, and it would make it an even bigger occasion. So big occasion as it is, but certainly make it bigger. And Cambridge at last now beginning to get into their stride. As Woodward hoists that one high, it's swirling in the wind. Williams comes in, but loses out. And it's Woodward who gets his own kick. And penalty to Cambridge for the man being the second man to play the ball. Only one man allowed. And so we've got a penalty, and they're going to take a kick at goal from just inside the 25. You can see the angle there. And Cambridge will be playing into the wind, because the wind generally here blows from left to right, down towards the St Michael's Lane end of the ground. And Jamie Woodward has this chance here for Cambridge to put 2 points on the board and reduce the arrears to just 4 points. 6 points to 0 Oxford lead with 29 minutes gone, and Woodward with this chance, and it just swings away to the right of the post as he looks at them, and just a little bit too much angle on it. So that was a chance for Cambridge, but not taken. And Williams drops it out long. Going back is Harvey Bennett, picks it up. Strong running centre. And from Millfield School and at Clare College. And he's represented the University LX Club at Rugby Union for 2 years. And he's turned his attention to Rugby League just this year. ...20 years of age, Bennett. Oh, nice play. Bennett again gets the ball out. Mike Woodbridge, but as soon as he gave the ball back, poor Jim Paps was absolutely swamped. And, good tackling from the defensive position there by Richard Bennett. And Simon Thompson once again finding touch. Thompson from St Ambrose College in Magdalen. Half blue in last year's varsity match. He also toured Australia, and this year, of course, he captains the team. And the referee saying, come on, let's have it straight and where we want it. Ball going in. And he's not happy with that one either. And a penalty to Cambridge. Somebody trying to use the hand in the scrum. And so the Cambridge skipper hammers it into touch. The two opposite numbers there, Mike Woodbridge and Will Kemp, who did the tackling, absolutely flying at one another. Well, that was unfortunate there because Jim Paps had found the gap, but unfortunately someone obstructed. Couldn't quite see who it was, but it's given Oxford the chance to run the ball clear. And not played correctly, and so we've got a scrum forming right on the Oxford 25, and Cambridge really could do with the score here. Still 6 points to 0 in Oxford's favour, and joining the line is Simon Thompson. Jim Paps at acting half, pushing his way forward, marking in bottom. So 15 yards out from the Oxford line. Paps. Oh, nice ball out there. Bennett. A light run between Gordon Lowe and Jamie Woodward. Line Bennett through, Paps to Woodward. Woodward coming inside, strong runner. But his opposite number there, Dan Wooler, and the firm tackle. Ploughing in is Mark Higginbottom. Ball still alive, and Cambridge keeping it alive very well here. Bennett in the thick of the action yet again. A chance for a drop goal. And it is. It's a good drop goal by Simon Thompson. Well, it's not being given. I could have sworn that that went over, but it didn't. It could have taken a deflection. My angle, not particularly good. Well, my apologies to Simon Thompson, but I could have sworn that that went over the crossbar. So still 6-0 to Oxford, and 7 minutes to half-time. It's been closely fought encounter, and I can't see there being many points in this game as Williams kicks ahead. Brave attempt at a tackle, but it's well picked up there by Willem David. The man attempting that was Piers McCleary, and fortunately his half touch on the ball stopped Williams from breaking through a gap. Jamie Woodward. Paps. Ball along the line again. Coming into it was Simon Thompson. It's still the Oxford tackling is firm and very good coverage as well. And that's a super tackle coming in there from Dave Coslett. And put into touch by Gordon Lowe on the first bounce. So on the Oxford 25, Cambridge with the pressure. And with just under 5 minutes remaining to half-time, it's an opportunity for Cambridge, but a slight injury there may hold them in the Cambridge and Oxford packs having a quick word. And dead keen to get at one another as well. And both packs wheeling round, and the referee has decided, let's have it back, lads, 10 yards inside. You can see where the origins of most of these lads' rugby come from, but they're now converts to the game of rugby league. And Cambridge win that one against the head, but the man doing the tackling, Nigel Rippon, Woodward looking for the gap, goes through it, gets in again to Simon Thompson. Thompson buried by Richard Bennett. Cambridge still with the pressure. Bennett, and dropped there by Michael Bridge. Knocked on as well. So still encamped on the Oxford 25. But Oxford win that one, and we'll try and relieve the pressure a little bit here. Oh, they've not done so. Drop ball by Dave Coslet. And Cambridge coming forward. Still 6-0 to Oxford. Coming in off that wing, William David. It's Gordon Lowe. Straightens up, but once again, Kemp is there in the thick of the action. Oh, and a drop ball, and Williams will pick that one up. And Cambridge losing possession at the vital moment. So we're going to have another scrum, and we're still encamped here in the Oxford 25. Cambridge with all this pressure for the last 10 minutes just cannot find a way through at the moment. Paps driven back by his opposite number. Oh, and unfortunately, and this ball like a bar of soap there on the floor. And once again, on the first tackle, turned over again. Cannot afford to do that. Anyone who saw the Yorkshire Cup final between Castleford and Leeds will note how Castleford lost the ball on 8 occasions on the first tackle, despite being encamped in the Leeds 25 for long periods. Cannot afford to do it, and Cambridge will be ruining these missed chances. But they've played well into this wind. And just that one slip up when Kemp was allowed to dart over from a play the ball 15 yards out. And that's not a good kick by Williams. But ball rebounding off a Cambridge defender and straight back into the arms of Oxford. We're now into the last minute. Williams slices that one. Oof, and just escaping the onrushing Simon Boyden, bounces once and goes into touch. So last chance now for Cambridge. Jim Paps with the feed for the Light Blues. And Nigel Rippon would do well to retire behind the scrum. And coming in is Boyden, but can't get away from Mildred Rees. And half-time hooter goes with the score at Oxford 6, Cambridge 0. This Car Care Plan Challenge Cup between Oxford University and Cambridge University. And the scoring went as follows on 14 minutes. It was Mildred Rees with a penalty from some 20 yards out, just to the left of the posts. And then Will Kemp's try on 23 minutes, putting Oxford 6-0 in front. And Dan Wooler failing with the conversion. And that's the only scoring we've had. Tremendous tackling stint by both sets of forwards and halfbacks especially, and some excellent scrummaging. And the man who's done the most damage for Cambridge, Bruce Middleton, won 3 against the head. And really, Cambridge have dominated the scrums, had a lot of possession, especially in that last 15 minutes of the first half, but have failed to capitalise on it, giving us a score at half-time of Oxford 6, Cambridge 0. So under the superb lights here at Headingley, very high up there, as you can see, Cambridge come out with a daunting task in this second half. They're 6-0 down and up against it. But they've won the last 3 encounters. They're looking for their 4th, and they're looking to extend the sequence from 5-3 to 6-3 today. These matches have been played since 1981, and this is the 4th now here at Headingley. And as I said in the first half, I'd like to see this game played as an opener to maybe, in fact, the Premiership or one of the big matches of the season, because I think it would give the game of rugby league a tremendous boost, and these lads especially, playing before a reasonable crowd, but I think it would give them a tremendous boost to play in front of 10 or 12,000 who would really appreciate the way that these lads have played tonight so far. So we've 40 minutes remaining for Oxford 6, Cambridge 0 and Oxford 2 restart. Cambridge now have the wind in their favour. That's a good kick. Williams chasing it, picks it up well. Wijeratana was looking for the ball inside, but Williams decided that there was no cover in the centre. Had Wijeratana dropped it, so went to the outside. Good tackle coming in from Mark Higginbottom. And Williams hoists that one. Thompson will pick it up. And Cambridge using the kicking game now to drive Oxford back, as it was in the early stages of the first half. And not a very good pass inside there by Williams to John Cox. John Cox dropping the pass. And also being offside. So we've got a penalty to Cambridge. And the first man running forward there is Le Breton, Andrew Le Breton. As Cambridge now begin to pile on the pressure. Andrew Le Breton, former Eton schoolboy. Oh, and coming in, and it's Cambridge here now, in with a chance. Paps, low acting halfback. Paps again, straightens up, goes for the line, tackled by Will Kemp. Good position here. It's Bruce Middleton acting half this time. Low, gets it out to Bennett. Still firm tackling by Oxford, but a good position here now for Cambridge. They must capitalise on this opportunity. Kick through by Woodbridge, but well, a good saving and covering tackle there. There's Nick Plum, and Williams will try and clear his lines. Not bouncing well for Thompson, but he'll get plenty of time to pick that one up. Drives in and physically lifted by one of the forwards there. I think it was Buckland. So it's Bruce Middleton to Paps. Long ball there to Thompson, but Thompson can't make any ground at all. And Cambridge, I would say, have had 60% of the possession, but finding it difficult to break this Oxford's ring of tacklers. And it could be an offside decision. Yes, it is. And Woodward is going to have a crack at goal. It's a fairly straight shot, and they really need these 2 points to Cambridge. Left footer. Steps up, hoists it high, and it's failed again. He's put it to the left of the post. So that's 2 that's just from Woodward that have just sailed fractionally wide. So Oxford on the restart. And drop out. And picked up by Piers McCleary. Quite a smooth handling move, but couldn't make just that bit of ground extra. No clean breaks. And this shows the standard of tackling that we've had. But neither side can make that clean breakthrough. Imagine what it'd be like if this pitch was very heavy in mud, that both sides would be absolutely caked by now. The amount of tackling that both sides have done. Dominic Gwilym-David, well, does the right thing, comes inside, and somebody's got a crack in the face there. John Cox it was, with the boot, as Gwilym-David went through and kicked through by Lowe, bounces off the chest. And this is the referee given. He's given a knock on. It was Dan Wooler who knocked on, and right in the shadow of the posts. Cambridge really must score now. And just pointing out to the referee that Cox is still down injured. And in fact, substitute coming on. It's like Duncan Wood. Trouble is, he's got no number in his shirt. Oh, chance here, but once again, Mark Higginbottom driven back, and McCleary diving in, but dragged back by Oxford. Tremendous tackling on their own line here. Thrown wide, Bennett gets the ball out. Thompson, Woodward. Once again, no way through. The pressure's on the Oxford line. And that kick through. Again, an attempt at a drop goal, but not coming off. And Oxford having to defend as they did at the end of that first half. Cambridge now will have to defend against Oxford, but Oxford still some only 35 yards out from their own line, and they really do need a breaker through. Dave Coslett makes some ground. And Gwilym-David picks it up. Oh, McCleary gets it off to Woodbridge. Mike Woodbridge steps inside, beats Williams. Woodbridge going for the line. He's angling himself well, and Woodbridge is over. What a good try. A very good try by Woodbridge. The initial charge by Piers McCleary handed the ball to Woodbridge. Woodbridge stepped off his right foot, went inside Williams with ease, and then went away from the covering tackle, racing diagonally, and then stepping inside that right-hand post to put Cambridge well back in this game at 6-4 down. And Oxford having a man taken off as well. And the chance here now for Jamie Woodward to equalise, and he does so. So it's 6 points apiece in this Car Care Plan Challenge Cup. Oxford University 6, Cambridge University 6, and we've had just 10 minutes of that second half gone. So both of the loose forwards have scored tries. Mike Woodbridge in the 50th minute, and Will Kemp, he scored for Oxford on 23. So Alcock has come on for Kemp. And Robert Sterling has come on for Bruce Middleton. Williams, oh, and absolutely murdered there by 3 covering tacklers. Robert Sterling being one of them. And now Cambridge with a bit between the teeth of Rossi with tackling getting greater, and Oxford at the moment having to weather the storm, and that's not a good ball, and Bennett picks it out of the air very nicely. There's the try scorer for Cambridge, Mike Woodbridge. Driving in his Paps. Well, penalty to Cambridge, and a chance now for them to go in front. Jamie Woodward, who missed his first 2 kicks, put the conversion over, so he's 1 from 3 at the moment. And the bucket of sand comes out. Very close encounter at 6 points apiece. This penalty is vital to Cambridge. And Woodward, who's probably their most experienced player, chance now to put them 8-6 in front. And he's kicked it. It's a good one. And Jamie Woodward has put Cambridge 8 points to 6 in front on 53 minutes. So can Oxford come back from this 8 points to 6 deficit? They've been under constant pressure the last 15 minutes of the first half, and certainly the first 15 of this half. I was to ask to select a man of the match, because I think that all 30 players have responded well and shown how well they're playing rugby league. Because I can tell you, if this was a Stones Bridge Championship match with a standard of tackling, the papers would have gone wild about it. Not for the quality of the open rugby, but the tremendous tackling. The fitness of these lads is something else as well. They've managed to keep it going for this first hour. And with some just over 20 minutes remaining, I don't see it slackening off at all. The honour of Oxford and Cambridge at stake. Doesn't matter whether it's rugby union, ice hockey, water polo, rowing or rugby league. It matters to them that Oxford or Cambridge win this game, depending upon whichever side you're at. And it may be one of the minor sports at Oxford and Cambridge at the moment, but I think it'll gain ground as rugby league gains momentum throughout the whole country. And it doesn't do any harm to have two sides down in the south of England playing the game of rugby league. It just spreads the gospel that little bit further. And many thanks to Car Care for sponsoring this game, because it certainly needs a major sponsor. Oh, good play by Oxford. A breakaway. It's Dave Coslett. Coslett's got a man in support. The man in support is Nigel Rippon. Well, that was a tremendous run by Coslett. Fully 40 yards. And now, can they keep the momentum going, Oxford? Buckland diving in. Back to Murray Rees. Hoisted high. Ball bounces off of Rees. Straight into the hands of Woodward. Woodward trying to run round the outside. Can he get his winger away? But no. A bit of a dangerous situation to try and run the ball. Robert Sterling. She's forward. That's a good surge by Andrew Libretti. Great run by Johnson. Nice sidestep, beat two men, but falls once more to some good covering tackle, and that's a hoisted long and deep. John Cox going back for it with Williams. Williams to Cox. Cox hands off Bennett, but Bennett manages to get him round the ankles. And so Oxford once again penned back. It's Oxford 6, Cambridge 8. And we've had some 17 minutes of the second half. Pushing forward there for Oxford, Nick Plum. Williams kicks it deep and it's going to run into touch. No. Back there, picking it up was Simon Boyden. Simon Boyden from Jesus College. And likes to be a scrum half, but the wing position has sealed his fate in rugby league. And a super kick going into touch 5 yards from the Oxford line. So once again, Cambridge in a good position. once again, Oxford must repel this attack if they're to stay in the game. Score now for Cambridge would be of absolute vital importance, especially diving in there. There's Simon Thompson, but he's driven back once more. William David. Possibly see a attempt at a drop goal here as well. Bennett, oof, Woodward absolutely smashed there in that tackle. Lost the ball, but well retrieved by Simon Boyden. Mark Higginbottom can't make ground against John Adcock. Yet more good tackling. Sterling. Last tackle coming up. Ball back. Woodward. Oh, sets himself with ease for a drop goal, and it's over. Well, he had so much time, he could have walked 10 yards with it. And Woodward, with his 7th point of the game, has given Cambridge a 9 points to 6 lead. It's Oxford 6, Cambridge 9. And we've got now 20 minutes remaining. So from being 6-0 up, Oxford now find themselves 9 points to 6 down. And Cambridge in possession. Play a little scrappy, but once again their captain Simon Thompson who does the work. I'm just looking down the list. Richard Leach, who was on earlier for Oxford, was actually at Bradford Boys Grammar School and was a member of the Yorkshire Schools under 16 first 15. So a local boy. The referee insisting that everyone is 10 yards and that play just going off for Oxford. So Duncan Wood will come on, and Wood has come on for Wooler. Cambridge 9-6 in front as we go into the last quarter of the game. And Woodward looking for more points, and Oxford just a little bit down at the moment. But anything can happen, and it only needs one clean break to set anything in motion. And here's one of the men that could possibly do it, Williams, sidestepping, twisting and turning, manages to get over the 25, but totally in the wrong position at the moment for something like that. Buckland. And Duncan Wood playing the ball back. Oxford with a bit of a spring in the step at the moment. Oh, and they've lost the ball. Well, must have bounced off a Cambridge defender because the referee has allowed play to continue. There's John Adcock showing the ball inside, Oxford piling forward. Still in the balance at Oxford 6, Cambridge 9. Woodward's penalty and drop goal in this half, allied to his conversion of Woodbridge's 50th minute try, have been the points so far. Oxford's coming from Will Kemp's try on 23 minutes and a Rees penalty on 14. Thompson breaking away, but, straight into the arms of Cox, but that was another good run by Thompson. He's looked certainly a class player today. Bennett along the line to Woodward. Woodward manages to scramble the ball back. But referee has awarded a knock-on, so we've got a scrum. Scrum forming just inside the Cambridge half. And going off is Dan Wooler. The referee deciding that scrum has swung round. We'll have another one. Good tired legs out there now, but still both sides playing as fast as they can. Williams bundled to the ground, but coming up into the line and trying to add some pace into this front line here. Going forward, Oxford just outside the 25. Half-back Richard Leach. Leach again. Williams through the gap. Williams going for the line. Over the 25, escapes through past Simon Thompson, and Williams is going over. Well, what a tremendous try by Williams. It was Richard Leach that played the ball in the move twice. Long pass out, Williams took it, went through a gap, and as Simon Thompson came across, just managed to evade his despairing tackle and go over to the right of the post, and that now has put Oxford with a 1-point lead at 10 points to 9. And it was Ian Williams, the Australian Rugby Union international, who's given them that slight edge and gone over the first real clean break of the game from either side. And Rees has kicked that one, and Oxford now, from being 9 points to 6 down, are 12 points to 9 in front. Ian Williams has done the damage in the 66th minute. It's Oxford 12, Cambridge 9.
Now we have a message for a car to be moved. It's going to obstruction on the south car park, registration B63.
Now, can Cambridge come back from this? It's 2 tries to 1 in Oxford's favour. And we're all set now for the last 14 minutes. Game swinging first Oxford's way, then Cambridge, and now Oxford again. Can Cambridge come back? They've had a lot of possession. The true class of international has put them behind at the moment. You'll have to excuse if I miss some of the players now, because certain ones have not got numbers on their jerseys, having come on or having changed them at half-time. So Cambridge in possession, just inside the Oxford half, pushing forward. Up again, hoisted there by Gordon Lowe. Underneath it very well is Nick Plum. Plum's done a tremendous tackling stint at centre. Another man who worked very hard for Oxford is Buckland. Williams once again evading tacklers. And Cambridge will be wary of him, but they must get possession now. Time running out. Thrown inside, picked up by John Cox. Cox, no running chances at all. In fact, none of the four wingers have had a real good run. Chipped ahead by Nigel Rippon. Again, Simon Thompson, Oxford, the Cambridge captain, picking that one up. And Gwilym David, again, nowhere to go. Robert Sterling. And Bennett, still the tackling, as strong as ever, and making sure that the man goes down. Not allowing to slip the ball in the tackle. It's one of the things that you noticed tonight, that the ball isn't slipped in the tackle. The forwards don't turn, back one another up and hand the ball off. Now, some of that's got to do with the good tackling that we've seen tonight, but generally speaking, they're just not versed in the skills of turning in the tackle and handing the ball off to supporting player. Support play not being as good, but some of the other aspects have been superb. And Oxford still with that 12 points to 9 lead. We're coming up now with just 8 minutes remaining. And the difference between the sides is really that try by Ian Williams. Driving forward there is Duncan Wood. Both substitutes on now. Wood and Adcock have come on for Wooler and Kemp, and Warburton is on for McLeod, and Sterling for Middleton for Cambridge. I'm just having a look at some of the player profiles, and John Adcock there at Queen's College, and first-year physicist from the Sir William Borlase School, and played rugby union for Surrey under 15s and under 18s. And Duncan Wood, an American Irish. Duncan was educated at St. Paul's School and Cornell University of the USA, so he's studying for a diploma in international relations. He's also a qualified professional tennis coach. And as the player profile says, he's clearly a man to whom a mere player profile can scarcely do justice. So Cambridge coming forward once more. And Woodward, being one of their best players, hoists it high, underneath it. Well, Williams in tremendous trouble there from the onrushing Cambridge player. Drops the ball, knocks it on. It was Gordon Lowe who was charging in. Penalties being awarded. And Cambridge now 5 yards out. Woodward, who hoisted that kick, turns. Well, it could have come off, but just then Richard Bennett was very alive to it. The second row from Oxford, and Cambridge have messed that one up. Certainly a very good opportunity, and they've knocked on in the shadow of the posts. Robert Sterling is one of the substitutes for Cambridge, and that's a good break out by Nigel Rippon. Robert Sterling from Canford School and at Downing, and in his second year of rugby league, as it says here, a veteran of the Australian tour. And Nigel Warburton from Chislehurst and Sidcup Grammar School, and is also at Darwin. And he says he's definitely the oldest member of the squad and arguably the wisest. A half-blue last year and represented the Great Britain students against France before touring Australia. So this is some good open rugby. Now, legs a little bit tired, and maybe the chances will come as McCleary is pounded into touch by the second row of Oxford, Dave Coslett and Richard Bennett. You can see now that they're a bit weary. And the referee has been very firm on this scrummaging. And Oxford again in possession, and Cambridge now in desperate need of that possession as we come now into the last 5 minutes. 5 minutes for Cambridge to pull this 3-point deficit back. It's Oxford 12, Cambridge 9. Thoroughly enjoyable game of hard rugby, not very open, but with tackling of this standard, can't expect anything else. And once again, it's Simon Thompson, who's had a tremendous game for Cambridge. And if I was to pick between the two fullbacks, despite Williams' international reputation and his try, I think Simon Thompson certainly been the pick of the backs on display. And Woodward's always been in the thick of the action for Cambridge. But Oxford's tackling, it's probably just been that little bit sounder, speed of thought and movement. And their forwards have done them proud as well. Certainly it's been a manful stint of tackling by the Oxford 6 that has done the work for Oxford. So going off is Richard Leach, is Bruce Middleton, and coming on is Robert Sterling. So going through is Nigel Rippon. They've had a lively game at scrum half, as has Jim Paps, and they've been well supported by their half-back partners. Stand-off half Gordon Lowe for Cambridge and Murray Rees for Oxford. And there is Gordon Lowe. Up to his half-back partner, Pats. And Andrew LeBreton. But no way through. Very near time now. Time ebbing away for Cambridge. As Nigel Rippon goes down injured. Cold water might just do the trick. Yeah. And probably cramp as well on the back of the calf muscle. Certainly is. And had to do tremendous stint of tackling and running. And it's just finally caught up with him, but it's only a couple of minutes to go, so I'm sure he'll want to stay on for the full game. And despite the administrations of the ministrations of the physio, he needs some more work. And we're going off shot until such time as things are ready. The turf, well, is still in good condition despite the heavy pounding this year. And of course, with in the soil heating here at Headingley, very rarely that a game is taken off and postponed. Well, desperation stuff for Cambridge, but there's still chance. Game's not over until that final hooter goes, and they'll be looking for a flash of inspiration from one of the centres, possibly, or the wing. And there's a good run and a good backing up by Woodward. Woodward looking for his support. He's got him on the outside. It's Simon Boyden on the outside, but it was kicked through, and Oxford regained possession. Well, possibly Cambridge's last fling. They tried their damnedest there. We're very near the end. Time ticking away. Only possibly now a minute to go. And it's all over. The final whistle has gone. Cambridge have been broken. Their winning run of 3 games is brought to a halt, and Oxford are absolutely delighted at winning that game. The last 3 consecutive matches have all been won by Cambridge, and Oxford have come first in front today and then from behind to win by 12 points to 9. Well, the scoring came on 14 minutes for Oxford when Rees kicked a penalty, and then some 9 minutes later Will Kemp at a play the ball decided to take the ball on himself and went over. On 50 minutes, well, Woodbridge kicked a penalty to make it 6 points to 2, and then Woodbridge went over for a try. Woodward converted. Woodward's penalty on 53 minutes and a Woodward drop goal, putting Cambridge 9 points to 6 in front. But then Ian Williams' try on 66 minutes, Rees converted, and Oxford held out to the end. Been a game ebbing and flowing all the time. Been tremendous rugby, with tackling being of the essence. Both sides have tackled their hearts out. They've played very, very well, and I would think that both sides deserve now a few beers afterwards in the clubhouse, where the facilities here at Headingley are quite superb. The final score, Oxford 12, Cambridge 9, but both sides deserving praise from every quarter. And the trophy will be presented by the Managing Director of Car Care Plan, Mr. Paul Kirby. And despite Cambridge defeat, they really deserve full praise for the way that they kept in the game. It was 6-0 down, they went 9 points to 6 up, and there goes Rees up the steps to collect the trophy. He's gone the wrong way, but never mind, and I'm sure they'll never let him forget that, because if this video is shown, he'll say, well, you went the wrong way to collect the trophy. And there it is, the Car Care Plan trophy, is sponsored by Park Air Plan, and Oxford are the winners by 12 points to 9. The Oxford team just passing the trophy down the line. There's Richard Bennett and Charles Wicherathna. Number 14, John Adcock and John Cox, and the champagne being sprayed liberally over everybody. I'm certainly glad that I'm a good 100 yards away over the other side of the pitch, getting their little mementos of this game, which I'm sure that they'll treasure. To a man. And Murray Rees led his team well. Fullback Ian Williams, try scorer at the end, which was the deciding score. Rees converting, that gave Oxford the 12 points to 9 lead, which they kept till the very end. And coming up now, I'm sure, will be Cambridge to receive their mementos, their losers' mementos. And a little word for the referee. His name's not down on any of the programme details. Not sure what they call him, but I think that he had an outstanding game as well. And it was certainly well refereed, as the Cambridge side, led by Simon Thompson, come up and very sportingly congratulated by Oxford. Gordon Lowe following him up. And the number 11, Piers McCleary. And we've got David William and Harvey Bennett. And Simon Thompson, for me, the Cambridge man of the match.